Ooh, Nelly. We got a lot to discuss. And the reason we got a lot to discuss, because this hits home. What's up, Outlaw? As you can see, the prediction guru is here. Your boy Sino. Once again, delivering accurate predictions to all these so-called experts that got all these million-dollar contracts online, but can't never produce anything. Yes, Sino was right. Now, Tyreek Hill was done wrong. He was done completely wrong by the NFL Amazon Prime broadcast team. Mostly the person responsible by the name of Kaylee Hartung. Now, Kaylee Hartung decided that this is what's weird about it. They wanted to bring up a case that's going on in a divorce proceeding between Tyreek Hill and his ex-wife, where she claims that she was abused and was hit throughout the relationship, and over 8 times of abuse. And the fact is, if you're going to make that report, that's fine, but you don't make that report during the game. Do you know they have the pregame, the game before the pregame? You got the day before. You got about 3 or 4 pre-games before the kickoff happened that you could do all that for. Nobody was asking for that information during the game, which has nothing to do with the game. Let's take a listen at this debauchery. Oh, yeah. It was disgusting to see. So even the crew was caught off guard that they chose to do that. You know, they were caught off guard that they would even bring this up on the show. And whoever did this, it was a planned attack on Tyreek Hill. The NFL is investigating, but here's the thing. You're just trying to really humiliate this person and possibly stop his money. And right as rain, all the people on social media and Twitter, white Americans, well, if he didn't want to be portrayed that way, he probably shouldn't put his hands on his wife. He's been accused of it. He has not been arrested in any of these charges. He's denied these charges. So it's amazing to me when it's the other way around. This type of stuff never happens. I've never seen them do this to a white athlete ever. They'll never spit anything out about them, their situations, even when the kicker, who they had to just get out of the NFL completely, he had been doing it for years. Roethlisberger was out here R-wording people and attempting R-wording people, and the NFL swept it all up. Not once were they mentioning it during the game. Now, everybody got on Malika Andrews for what she did, and how reckless she was in her reporting. This Kaylee Hartung, who came from ESPN, she can't hold a job down. She was at ESPN, got bounced from there, went to CBS. She's at CNN. She's all over the place. Now she lands on Amazon Prime, covering the NFL. Why does she keep getting bounced around? She couldn't even do that little thing. She couldn't even read the damn paper that somebody got her and told her to, hey, you need to imply this. Yeah, it's going to be real cool if you imply this. They had nothing in the imagination that was about acquiring things. Nothing in the imagination said they needed to move in a different direction. See, nothing in the imagination told them what they were doing is wrong. They don't like Tyreek Hill. You know, the Miami Police Department, you remember what happened when they arrested him. Think Stephen A will point this out. Oh, man, he probably salivating right now. That's probably his headline. Stephen A gonna say like the man been convicted. We've got to do better. We can't be out there on the field. The NFL letting this man play football, right? They've been investigating this. She filed a divorce earlier this year. So the NFL is already, they talking about they're investigating all the reports of what she's reporting. He's been playing. So believe me, if they had, evidence galore, they would have taken her in by now. Then they were like, well, in 2015, when he was in college, he was accused of domestic. Berger had a problem. He had a real problem. Mm-hmm. That Miami Yayo got you acting crazy. I don't know what got him going crazy, but I can tell you one thing. That dude is definitely on another playing field when it came to this subject. She probably didn't have a job when that happened. She probably was at CNN. But this was an orchestrated attack because they did it at the point of the game where everybody would be watching. So they wanted to do this. They wanted to humiliate this man. So it's like the fourth quarter, it's a tight game. And it's 7 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the game. And you pick this time to say, okay, let's go ahead and do this. Why? Because it's at this peak in numbers. The viewers, they was like, oh, we got peak viewership. Now it's time to do it. Why you didn't do this in the pregame? If you want to talk about off the field stuff, people want to hear about what's going on in the game right now. They're concerned about the Dolphins and Bills game, not let's humiliate a black man game. Yes, the upper echelon in the NFL decided we're going to humiliate this man. Somebody somewhere made the call to do that. Even if he did it, let's say he did it and he was guilty of what they're saying he did. You don't do that during the game. I don't want to hear, oh, there's a touchdown by McMillan. You know, McMillan was caught last week doing lines of cocaine with a prostitute named Kitty. But what a pass to McMillan. You're not going to hear that. Well, great. Then you should be able to leave me a super chat then. I appreciate it. Yeah, the producers of that show, whoever decided to do that tacky behavior in the middle of a football game, should all be held accountable. For 8 months and you give me $2? You're welcome. Now, you see a lot of people, man, moving differently. But that was so low down that everybody around that was like watching it was like, yeah, that was bad. they couldn't help themselves but to say and witness how disrespectful that was to have that happen in the NFL game. It's still not justified if they find out he did do something, because you don't do that to anybody in the middle of the game. I don't want to hear nothing that's not relative to the game in the game. Well, Tom Brady shouldn't even be commentating Raiders games, period. If the Raiders play, he should not be commentating. Yes, the team should move on from Tua. There's been countless receivers going there and leaving. The team was ran horribly by upper management. You had a great coach in Brian Flores. He wanted to take Jason Herbert, a 6 foot tall quarterback who can move the ball downfield. You get Tyreek Hill and you put him with Jason Herbert. And then the defensive players he had on the team were monsters. Now the majority of those players have moved on. And now you're starting to see the Miami Dolphins team that this coach has got. So Brian Flores guys are pretty much gone. And you got what's left over. And now we get to see how good this coach is. And you can see he wanted to believe in Tua and I believe in you. And he's giving him inspiration where he said, the other guy just tore me down. No shit, he tore you down. And now Miami has been on the trajectory of going downhill. Herbert came in. I don't like the way the Chargers did the black head coach over there either. But this is what happens when no one stands up, no one unifies, no one says, hey, we need to come together on this thing. The union is not protecting the players because Tyreek Hill should have went to the union and said, hey, why are they allowed to do this? Why are they allowed to tear my name up and villainize me in the press when I haven't been found guilty of anything? No, it's because they got Harbaugh in there. The NFL loves Harbaugh for some reason. They love anybody that's corrupt, just like them, and white. So right away, they go right to the race issue. Harbaugh's white. They like him. He's part of their buddy system. Same thing with the Ravens. Surprise. I mean, they put two brothers in the Super Bowl just to say they got two brothers in the Super Bowl. Yeah, that Ray Lewis season, they carried them all the way to the Super Bowl. And Kaepernick messes up Randy Moss's Super Bowl. Oh, my goodness. There's always going to be more lost in gained. Yeah, it's crazy. It was ridiculous how they did Tyreek Hill. I don't know if they signed Westbrook. See, here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. Westbrook is being blackballed. Right. Ray Rice was out the league. When you don't get offers from the league, no team sending you offers, that's from the league. The league is making a decision that they want you out. Mm-hmm. Westbrook could fit in a lot of places. There's tons of players that could still play, and they got them out of the league. Pat Bev, he ain't coming back. They're not letting Pat Bev back in the league. Pretty much. Now, you think about Russell Westbrook, one of the NBA's top 75, and you tell him he couldn't play. They told Carmelo Anthony he couldn't play no more. He just only averaged 16 and 5 off the bench. Coming off the bench, y'all made him come off the bench, and he's scoring 16 and 5 with the Lakers in a terrible season that they had. Mm-hmm. No, Oscar Robertson is terrible. Great player, horrible for players. No, he definitely shouldn't be in the commission. He damn near the commissioner now. Oh, he's totally 100% with the agenda. A part of it is him, but some of it is the rest of the team, and now with this Kevin Durant trade, and Dylan Brooks is going to be the next one they're going to put out. Oh, you must don't keep up with what Oscar Robertson says. Just look up anything Oscar Robertson has said in the last 2-3 months. I guarantee you ain't going to agree with it. Michael Jordan commissioner? No. You don't need any great player like that to be a commissioner. When you can, it's not with a player that has that kind of ego. Like the ego is too great for somebody to let it go. You feel me? The ego is too great. They're not letting that go. As a player, yes. The Big O is definitely one of the best players to ever do this. There's no margin for mistakes. When Nate Burleson, who used to be the wide receiver for the Vikings, started going into broadcast, he ran into Deion Sanders because he was late. One time he was late. He missed his plane, overslept. So he came in late. And as soon as he arrived, Prime said, "Step in his office, man. Let me talk to you." Took him in the back, and he was like, "I heard you was late." He was, "Yeah, man, I missed my plane." He's like, "If I heard that, the bosses heard that. Nobody's going to talk to you about it. But I am going to say this. We, meaning black people, we cannot afford to be late one time because they going to remember that forever and they will hold it against you. Whatever your reason may be, the guy next to you, Phil Sims, can come in here late 7 times a week, can not even have to have an excuse. Nothing's going to happen to Phil. But you, they'll use that one time you missed the plane. That's the reason why you don't get a new contract. Isaiah Thomas as a commissioner would have been great. Great for the players, great for the organization. He was the one person that had the balance of the two because he had the respect of the players. It's the reason why David Stern came to him for a lot of things that he had. Every team that he coached, everybody had to wear a suit. You were going to dress professional. David Stern was like, "How did you get this? Like, how did you get your team to do that? Like, how did you get them to buy in to do that?" He was like, "Either you do it or you don't play on this team. That's it. This is the rules. This is the requirement." So, man, David Stern ended up coming up with that whole dress code for the whole league. No, a lot of those problems was going on in-house during that season. It had nothing to do with the process you thinking about. His contract was coming up. The Pistons were back-to-back champions. They were talking about renewing Chuck's contract and a lot of things that was happening amongst the movement that was going on. And it all had everything to do with the Dream Team. Plus, Chuck Daly just didn't like how Isaiah had so much control. Like, he just, like, I can't really talk to Isaiah no more because him and Bill Davidson got a better relationship than me and the owner. He's like, I don't have a relationship with the owner like that. He's like, Isaiah and Bill Davidson, they're buddy-buddy. And Isaiah is going to be an owner one day, and that's it. But the Dream Team, people don't realize, started it in 91. We were the back-to-back champions. When they were just discussing doing it, all of the Pistons people, the staff, the general manager was one of the people on the committee, everything, because we were the champions. We won the East 3 years in a row. We got some of the best players in basketball history on our team. So Isaiah was definitely going to represent us. That was a no-brainer. He was one of the best players in basketball history and was the best point guard in the NBA at that time. Magic Johnson, he lobbied for Magic to get into the Dream Team. If it wasn't for Isaiah, Magic wouldn't even be on the Dream Team. So when Magic doing all this talking about Isaiah is stupid, because Isaiah the one lobbied for you to be able to play. You were HIV positive. So how in the hell you weren't going to be able to play no how? So if it wasn't for Zeke, you wouldn't be playing. He had the lobby for you to get into the All-Star game. So Magic wasn't even playing in the league, but was able to come back and play in the All-Star game. And he turned into Magic. Started hitting threes, turn around, spin around, three-point shots. It became such a popular moment that Isaiah pretty much put that together. He said, this is how the All-Star game should end. He didn't even run another play. He held the ball and said, that's how the game should end. No, it became a corporate thing. So a lot of people with moving hands behind the scenes, pulling strings. You had David Falk, who was completely a narcissistic man who believed in only his clients. His clients are the best thing in the world. So it's my clients, my clients, my clients. And that's all he knows. So Wes Jordan was the biggest thing he ever had. So the bigger Jordan got, the bigger his power got. So he started to get Patrick Ewing, Barkley, and get all these people on one umbrella. Mm-hmm. So Jack McCloskey, our general manager, quit. He said, I'm not going to be on the board no more. I'm not going to be a part of this. If y'all anybody's trying to take Isaiah Thomas off of the Dream Team, I'm not going to be a part of this. So he's gone. He got off the panel. Chuck was the head coach, not Phil Jackson. Chuck Daly was more winning than Phil Jackson at the time. No one knew who the hell Phil Jackson even was at this time when they were making the selections. Plus, it's Chuck Daly, and he's a real coach. So Chuck was the one they selected to do it over Pat Riley. It was between Pat Riley and Chuck Daly. And they felt Chuck was good, old school coach, definitely knew his game and what he wanted to do. So he was going to lead this dream team that they were putting together. So when they left and they see Chuck Daly didn't leave, and it was tension between him and Isaiah, because Isaiah was like, okay, you okay with this? But then they said, well, don't worry, Isaiah could still be a backup. There's 2 more spots for the team. And they chose one collegiate player from college, which was Christian Laettner, and the other person in the NBA that they left, and it was Clyde Drexler, who Isaiah just beat in the previous year. But since they were trying to make the they were trying to make Clyde Drexler versus Michael Jordan NBA Finals. Jordan and Drexler. They put Clyde Drexler on the dream team. But Clyde should have made it anyway. There's a lot of people that shouldn't have been there, and Scottie Pippen was one. Scottie Pippen was only a 2-time All-Star, about to be a 3-time All-Star. But I'm like, wait a minute. Are you kidding me? When they made these selections, Scottie Pippen was the name you came up with. And he was like, well, Dominique was injured. I'm like, okay, if Dominique wasn't injured, Scottie Pippen has made the dream team. That just doesn't make no sense. That's why it keeps getting brought up, because it was the corrupt way it was done. Chuck should have walked. He should have walked. That's all I know. Chuck Daly should have walked off of that dream team. No matter who was the coach, they was going to win anyway, but he should have walked. But for Chuck, he's like, I'm doing this for me. Chuck Daly was doing that for him. He felt nobody got my back. You know, I don't have it's Isaiah's team. Whatever Isaiah want to do, he can get done. If Shaquille O'Neal wasn't good enough to be on the dream team, right? He just had his rookie year. I'm okay with Shaq now being on it because, one, Christian Laettner on the team, he was the best player in college. Understand it. He was better than Shaq. Now, everyone else, meaning all the other players that they had on the team, I'm not going to say they didn't deserve to be there, because they did. Like Larry Bird was there based on the fact he was Larry Bird. You know, Bird at that time as a player, of course not. Magic Johnson wasn't even playing in the NBA. Okay, so we know what this was about. This was the marketing. This was the package. This is the world's greatest. Chris Mullin, at that time, on the Dream Team, Mullin was great, but at that time, I mean, I guess, but what did Mullin want? So Mullin was chose because they needed more white guys to try to balance it out. Mullin was great. Don't get me wrong, as a player, Mullen was great. They could have used Mark Price over Mullen, but they needed a forward or somebody, so they took Chris Mullen. You're not going to lose with Chris Mullen, but I'm just saying, in place of. And then they chose John Stockton, which wasn't a bad pick, but I would have felt Kevin Johnson at that point had done more than John Stockton as far as a winning perspective. See, Utah used to be out in like the first round. The Phoenix Suns was going to the like Western Conference Finals. KJ was doing his thing. So yeah, that's why I'm saying the if you start comparing whose championships meant something, like their championship couldn't hold a candle to ours, we would eviscerate them. Should Tyreek Hill sue? I mean, my thing is, what you gonna sue about? Look at them. They got a habit for humiliating black athletes. Plus, race war rhetoric is at a premium right now. Only way to beat it is to avoid it. But who's going to stop watching and spending money on the NFL? Carl Malone it's Carl Malone even without Stockton. John Stockton can be John Stockton even without Carl. It's just that great is great and good is good. Oh, Berger wasn't falsely accused at all. He took a plea deal. So we'll see what happened in the end. But I got to get out of here, man. I'm going to holler at y'all later.